everybody, and welcome to the Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life podcast. My name is Michelle Burkhard, and I'm your host. Welcome. All right, so we are talking about things that I've learned in the last 2 years of being in this place before I get ready to make another big move. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about what I've learned about nutrition and nourishment. And it's not what you think. I'm not a health coach. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what you should eat or drink or things like that. I have no idea about that. I know what works for my body, so I'm doing that. I've definitely learned some patterns and habits that were, maybe not so helpful when I came here, but now I have a different experience of that. But I have enough wisdom to know just because it works for me does not mean it works for you. So you've got to go through that journey and figure that out for yourself. But I have learned a lot about nourishment. And yes, of course, nourishment from your food and from your drink and your environment. But there's some things I've learned about nourishment that you might not know. So I have what are like seemingly disjointed things when I was thinking about this idea of nourishment. I wanted to include them all, but they don't necessarily connect with each other. So take it with a grain of salt, would you? So the first thing is really about personal power, right? When I came here, my health was not good. My financial situation was not good. My credit score was horrible. So just to give you an idea, 2 years ago when I came here, my health was in such a state that I've lost 100 pounds. I went from a blood sugar of, 450 in the morning to normal, almost 24/7 now. My finances, well, we won't go into that, but my credit score when I moved here was around 200, and now it's, I think, 730. So I've done major things in the last 2 years, and I've seen the results of that. But man, was I in a low when I got here. And my battery was, I don't think my battery was empty. I think it was like killing itself somehow, if you can do that, right? So when we talk about, you can't give from an empty cup, like, if you have the tea kettle on, right, and it's empty, and you keep it on the fire, and it has nothing in it, you're going to burn up your tea kettle, right? So not only are you trying to give from an empty cup, but you are literally doing damage to yourself. And that's where I was when I got here. And I've learned a lot about releasing things that don't work for me, right? So things that are shoulds or ought tos, or somebody says you have to. Releasing those expectations, releasing patterns or habits that others say, do these things and you will be successful. Actually, that wasn't working for me, right? Some of that was actually food. One thing I've noticed is that when you get diagnosed with this condition of diabetes, you get put into a pipeline that basically says, we're going to now treat you like the other millions of people who have this condition. Well, guess what? Michelle's body doesn't act like millions of other people. So I had to take charge of that and say, what works for me, right? And of course, being open to receiving help. But what help, right? Do I immediately take what the doctor's saying, or do I run that through some filters and say, you know what, let's try that for a time, see what works, right? Do I, take the advice of, my family that says, hey, do this, do that? Or do I say, you know what, let's try that. Let's experiment. Let's see what happens. Having an open mind to the help that's there has been really helpful. But also recognizing that my nutrition, my nourishment has really come from, I don't know how else to say this, like the divine desire, right? Recognizing that the universe, the divine, God, whatever your term for it, source, gives us these seeds, these desire. And what do you want in life? Right? And I really truly believe that's why we're here, is to have these experiences and to say, you know what, this is what I need right now. This is what I want to do. And this is how having what I need and what I want is going to help me serve other people in a greater way. And so I found that the more that I nourish myself, my spirit, my mind, my body, my emotions, my energy, right? I nourish myself, I have so much more to give other people. And when I say my joy, my happiness, the things I love to do. So, for example, with work, the reason why we opened up the intuitive readings for the public now is because I love it. It is the thing out of everything that I do in my life that gives me the most energy. When I am talking to angels, when I am accessing, Akashic records, or, maybe an ancestor or guide comes in to talk to you, or, sometimes we're going to the underworld and we're gaining a message from there, or doing healing work, whatever it is, that energy fills me up. It's like my battery is over full. And then I can give from the overflow, which means I'm not getting burnout. I am definitely getting nourished. So is it any wonder that I've had the changes that I referenced at the beginning? No. But you know where that came from? That didn't come from a coach or a mentor telling me I should, or my family saying you better get on board with this, or my doctor saying you have to. It came from me saying, what do I need? What do I want to do? What fills me? What brings me joy? And because I had this safe place and no expectations other than to be with myself, I was able to really tap into that. Now that's become a new pattern for me. I'm not saying I'm a master at that at all. I'm definitely learning. I know what I didn't know before, but I'm not a master at it yet. So I'm going to keep doing that. But I really feel like not only have I got roots, right? So when I came here, when you've had so many years of all of these varied spiritual experiences in different varieties and with different people, if you think of the tree of life, I have branches, right? The branches are reaching up into the sky. I'm connected, but I didn't have roots. I really didn't. And so when I came here, I learned how to root into myself, into my body, like really get to know my body, my emotions so much more than I ever have before. And now not only do I have roots and I have branches, but I feel like there's a flow that is bringing divine desire to me all the time. I've had this very, I don't even know how to explain it. It's an ineffable experience with love the last several months. Feeling more whole and one and united with myself, number one, all of the parts of myself, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, but also with other people. And not having as many expectations on them as much. I'm just overcome with gratitude right now. To think about how different a person I am now than I was 2 years ago when I got here. So, yes, I've definitely changed patterns. I've changed habits. The biggest one I think is just being able to meet myself emotionally now. To really just sit in the gunk. Which of course over time has allowed me to release addictions. So I didn't, addicted to drugs or alcohol or anything, but, I definitely was addicted to sugar and had cravings all the time, partly because I wasn't eating enough protein and my body needs a lot of protein. But also just, patterns of behavior of running away from my emotions. And now I squarely face them because, first of all, they're beautiful. I see my emotions as beautiful now. It's a beautiful gift. And there's a lot of really great nutrition in those emotions. It gives me awareness, which is, I think, one of the most beautiful gifts that we can get. It's a huge grace that gives us life. And so being with myself in this new way has definitely increased my love, my joy, my peace, my gratitude. My connection to my body, my connection to source, my connection to other people. So yeah, it's been very rich and nutritious and nourishing to be in this place. So, And finally, before I let you go, again, we have that link for those intuitive readings if you'd like to pop on my schedule. And I should say this too, that you don't have to be in person or, live on Zoom if you'd like. I can also do that work remotely, energetically. So if that's something that you would prefer, you'd like to, have me work with maybe an animal that you have, or someone who's at the end of life, or someone who just can't sit on a Zoom, I would love to do that work for them and with them. So check it out. Let me know if you have any questions. Why don't this is a good, you guys know I'm a former teacher, so I'm going to give you a little homework. What nourishes you? Like, what really nourishes you, right? Where do you get your nutrition from? Where do you gain your energy? How do you fill your battery? What brings you that sense of relief? What kind of help do you need? What do you want in life? Those are all really important, amazing questions. So check it out in your own mind, see what comes to you. If you have any questions about that, you'd like to talk more, let me know, okay? All right, so with that, I release you into the wild. Go forth and prosper. Have an amazing day, and we'll catch you next time. All right, bye-bye.